What is going on, everybody? Carnage back here again, and today I thought I'd do something I haven't really done in previous years, but I'm doing, you know, uh, my top 10 figures of the year so far. Now, all the ones here are not on the list that I made currently, but, we still have roughly a month, 2 months before the year ends, so the list will more than likely definitely change. But, gonna go through all the figures here first, very quickly, and then get into the actual top 10. I'll start with Miles right here. Now, genuinely very good figure. If you don't have a Miles in your collection, this one definitely works very well. Especially the upper body. I really do like all that. Now, the legs, on the other hand, like, they definitely did reuse, the legs from this figure, from what I've noticed. And they do kind of look a little nasty looking, I will admit. But I mean, with, the fact that so few people have a Miles Morales in their collection, this one, very good choice. Yeah, it looks a little ugly on the hips, but I mean, regardless, still very, well needed in a collection. Now, gonna kind of stick with that specific wave. Ultimate Iron Man. Genuinely a phenomenal, and I repeat, a phenomenal Iron Man figure. Uh, Feet work way better than I thought. The ankle pivot doesn't work as well as it probably should, just because, this part. But, very good articulation. Head doesn't really look up too much, but, again, if you don't have an Iron Man in your collection, this one definitely would stand out on the shelf. And it's from one of my favorite, comic universes, the Ultimate Universe. So, again, recommend it. Kind of going on to the one miscellaneous wave I didn't really pick up too many from. The Nemesis wave, AOA Gambit. This was the only one I actually pre-ordered from that wave because, after watching X-Men 97, I kind of got into a bit of a Gambit kick, and also I already have most of the other, uh, Age of Apocalypse wave figures, so I was just kind of like, why not? It's just one figure. And the only other one I did pick up from this wave was Marrow. Still kind of want to get the rest of the wave, but, might change. And I did completely blank out that he was from this wave, but this is kind of my custom new Ultimate Universe, uh, you know, uh, blanking out Winter Soldier Wolverine, which I thought this body was phenomenal use for that figure, and very proud how it turned out. It is a bit messy in a couple spots, but this is still relatively one of my first customs. Didn't get fully done with it, mostly because I could not figure out how to do the face mask. So, but yeah, still very happy with it. Like how it turned out for the most part. So, very excited about that. And kind of just sticking with customs, this one right here, in love with it. One of my favorite things that I got this year. This is my custom maker figure from my boy, IZ Art. Really awesome guy. I think it's pronounced Izzy. I always get that confused. Genuinely one of my favorite people that I've met on, YouTube, Instagram. Genuinely very nice guy. Really do like him. And he did all of this head by hand, and it took him so long to do it. I believe he used the Black Ant body, and then, the stretchy hands from a Mr. Fantastic. And I know he used a Professor X for the top half of the head. The bottom half, I can't remember what he used. But I mean, he did a phenomenal job on this. It's a little messy right there, but I mean, still, like, phenomenal figure. Very happy with it. He did a phenomenal job on it. And genuinely, if they do make a Maker action figure at some point, I will still, keep this one. Just because, started from the bottom, you know. And going on to actually one of my figures that I was the most anticipated for this year, the Spider-Boy figure. Still have not finished his comic series yet. I'm like 3 issues behind. But, it's only 20 issues, and, I just have 18, 19, and 20 left to read. But really love this character in general. Very happy they made a figure of him. Really, really happy with it. Very cool. I really do like the eyes, too. I really do like the gold that they used. Very fun figure, and, you know, worst case scenario, you could probably, you know, customize this into a Miles Morales. Because, you know, the head might be able to fit on, it might be smidge smaller, but, you know, if you want to make a custom Miles out of this, you definitely could. And I'll go on to this one. This is a figure I haven't reviewed yet. This is from the Wolverine 2-pack. I do have the Wolverine 2, but, you know, he's in a different list. But still really cool, very good update to, you know, this figure. Personally, I like the older one a bit more. And this one is on the exact same body mold, just, you know, some newer things. Like, I think the chest piece is new. I think head might be new. Shoulder blade's definitely new, and then this. I also do really like the sword, but, you know, I'll get into him a little more in the review. And now, going to this 2-pack. Haven't reviewed this one either. I've had it for a while, like at least 2 months. Just kind of, you know, put it off and just didn't really go from there. Which is partially why it's in this, because I just opened it, thought about reviewing it, and then just kind of didn't really do much with it. Mine does kind of have like a little freckle right there, but, you know, kind of stands out a little bit. And then this Thanos is basically just full-on reuse with a new head. But, you know, if you don't have a Thanos, you know, definitely a good placeholder until you get, you know, the actual one. And this Psylocke, like, definitely very cool. Definitely really do like the way they hid the joints in this. Very cool. And I mostly did pick it up just because, you know, I heard it was, like, phenomenal. I almost said phenomenal amazing at the same time. But, yeah, still pretty decent. But, you know, since I haven't really done much with her, partially why she's here. So, yeah. But, anyway, let's just get into the top 10. Oh, I did just realize I forgot one of the figures. He was off to my side, and I totally forgot to put him up. But the new 2-pack Venom. I know this is basically just a reuse, but I have never had this figure before in any way, shape, or form. But very fun figure. Really do like it so far. But yeah, now into the top 10. In 10th place, I'm probably in the minority on this, but I really do like this Banshee figure. This came from the mini comic wave. He came with the Giant Size X-Men #1, and I don't know why, I really fell in love with this guy for a while. Posed him around quite a bit, and something I kind of, you know, thought of, like, just recently, but, you know, for my customizing friends out there, you could actually probably do this and make it into, like, a disco Nightwing, like, you know, that X-Men, or not X-Men, that version of Nightwing that had, like, the poofed up collar and everything. That's something I just kind of thought of, and fully honest, I know since this wave is going on clearance, I may pick up a second one to, you know, do the disco wing with. But yeah, very great articulation. Really enjoyed the head sculpts. The comic that he came with was pretty cool. And I do like what they did with, you know, how they put this on by giving him, like, these. Granted, they do kind of stick out a little bit, so if you do ACBA with him, it might be a little off-putting, but I mean, you know, color-wise, head sculpt-wise, very great figure, and I genuinely am kind of excited to own this. Like, very awesome figure, and I do recommend it. In 9th place, surprisingly, Daken Wolverine, another one from the mini comic wave. Now, this one was the one I was the most excited for this year, and I mean that. This one right here was the one I genuinely was, like, 100% wanting. I never see him anywhere. I've only seen him the one time, and that's when I found him at Target. Which, ridiculous, and I repeat, ridiculous how, you know, hard this guy is to find, because I know a lot of people have been complaining about it. He came with an awesome alternate Mohawk head, which is currently being used on my custom Mohawk Invincible. It's such a badass head sculpt. Really, this is a really decent figure. It does kind of fall short in some spots just because, you know, personally, like, I know it's a dark Wolverine, and I know he is taller, but I feel like he shouldn't be, you know, this tall just because his father is very short. I feel like I could have made him, like, a bit smaller, And I mean, I'm not a huge fan of, the smiling head on this. I kind of wish they would have changed that a little bit. But I mean, other than that, like, I mean, pretty awesome. Really do like the tattoo on his arm. One of my favorite parts about this figure. It doesn't go across right there, but I mean, probably a good reason for that. Color-wise, looks good. And I mean, it does kind of remind me of the Juggernaut Wave Wolverine, which is my, you know, favorite Wolverine figure I've ever owned. But yeah, very cool figure. And let's get on to the 8th place. And in 8th place, we have soaring in. We have the Marvel Legends Fantastic Four First Steps Human Torch Flame On version. Now, really, really happy to finally get this. It took me so long to find both Human Torches, and it genuinely was just ridiculous how stupidly difficult they were to find. But I mean, really do like this figure quite a bit. It is a reuse for, the body that they used for like the non-flame on one, but I really do like the plastic. This does actually work as, just a plain, Human Torch too if you don't have one in your collection. I really do like the feet accessories, and they do move by themselves. The hand ones do come off, but they can't be put back on unless you really, really struggle with it, which I did. Yeah, but I mean, looks very good. I do think, putting a little more black wash over it would probably make, some of the stuff pop out a bit more. That's just me. But I mean, decent figure. Okay head sculpt and articulation that way. Not too much else to say, which is partially why it's in 8th place. But, still a very good figure. I'm very happy to have it, and I'm not really moving him out of this pose, just because I'm going to be putting him back on my shelf right after this. But let's get into, excuse me, into 7th place. Kind of had to think for a second. But yeah, let's get right into 7th place. And in 7th place, like this one's probably definitely going to change at some point, but we have the MCU Thunderbolts Red Guardian from the 2-pack. Genuinely really fun figure that we got. He didn't come with a ton of accessories, which kind of sucks because, would have been cool having him, with all the accessories. And I kind of personally would have liked, another head sculpt of him with like his goatee. That would have been very funny. But very fun figure. Really do like it so far. Not 100% sure why they gave him pistols. I don't think he even used pistols in the movie, if I remember correctly. Because I know he used a knife, I think. But don't think he really used anything else. But very great detailing on this figure. Really great colors. I do like the head sculpts. The little tiny silver on the star. Very cool. The pinless joints look good. And they did kind of reuse a couple things from, like, leg down, like, the boots, I've noticed. Which, I mean, they are very good boots from, like, the first, Red Guardian we have, which that one was one of my favorites for a while, too. But, just all-around phenomenal figure. Great, posing. Great head movement. Great everything on him. Really, really happy to, have this in my collection. And I'm kind of a little sad that he didn't get higher on the list, but, these next 6 figures, definitely have an excuse to be, that high up on the list. But anyway, let's get on to 6th place. So, going on to 6th place, another one I'm kind of surprised didn't, get up higher. The MCU Fantastic Four First Steps Thing figure. Now, he didn't come with really any accessories other than, an alternate pair of hands. But, this movie was genuinely one of my favorite things to watch. And this figure, like, other than needing a black wash, perfect, in my opinion. Definitely a great Thing figure if you don't own one. And this is actually the only one from this wave I actually bought a double of. Actually, let me go prove that I bought a second one of this real quick. Took me a minute to find it, but, see, I did buy 2 of them. Because this was genuinely my favorite, thing that I've ever owned. Really do like it quite a bit. All the great detailing, the 4s on the side, the small 4 on the belt buckle. Granted, he didn't really show up like this other than maybe for like one scene, I believe, because the rest of it he's wearing like a long sleeve coat. But, regardless, still phenomenal figure. Do recommend it if you do not have a thing in your collection. Like, just such a phenomenal figure. But now let's get into the top 5. In 5th place is another figure I was super excited about this year. That is the Agent Venom figure. Now, this figure came with so many great alternate pairs of hands. Came with a pistol, this gun, alternate head. Just all around one of the best, Agent Venoms that I've ever seen in my life. And, like, definitely a well-needed upgrade. And I know they just reused this body for the white anti-Venom suit. But, it's such a good body mold, I don't blame them for reusing it. Now, I will say these are kind of a pain if you want to, like, articulate him, like, down on the legs, because, like, he has very tight joints, which is a good thing. But, when you have tight joints and then these little tiny pointy spikes, it does kind of, make it a little difficult to want to pose him. So I just kind of put him in this one walking pose and just kind of left him like that. But all around great articulation. The only thing I really have a problem with is he doesn't have a waist swivel, which I know big problem with a lot of people with this figure. But I mean, other than that, like, it's such a well-needed upgrade, such a phenomenal head sculpt, such phenomenal articulation and everything else, that you really can't be angry with it. Just all around great figure, really happy to have it. And yeah, let's get on to 4th place. Now, 4th place might be a big surprise for a lot of you, because I know this was considered the greatest Marvel Legend of the year when it first came out. But, ROM Spaceknight, which genuinely only picked this up just because, I was hearing phenomenal things about it, and I was like, okay, might as well give it a try. And let me just say, it surprised me exceptionally hard. Like, didn't come with a lot of accessories. It came with this, one other gun, an effect for the gun, and a couple different pairs of hands along with the comic. But I mean, articulation-wise, like, so good. Like, I mean, double jointed knees, calf rotation. I mean, look at how far he can split, and he's not even, like, fully in split mode. Like, I mean, that is super far, dude. Just generally all around great articulation, upper waist swivel with an ab crunch, head movement, like it looks forward very well, looks back very well too. Not really much side to side movement, but sticking the arm out goes slightly above 90 degrees. Everything else like that, detailing wise, looks amazing. Articulation wise, looks amazing. And all the hidden joints that you can't even really see, like right there. Now, I understand why they didn't give him like a calf swivel, but this one right here makes up for it, definitely. Definitely makes up for it, I mean. But yeah, definitely a really great figure, and I know it is a bit hard to find this, but if you do have the chance to get it, I do recommend it. Very great figure, and it'll definitely be a little bit of a standout in your display. But yeah, now let's get into 3rd, aka bronze. Now, in bronze place, I may get kind of, shitted on for this one, but it's my personal opinion. The Capcom 2-pack Wolverine, Gamerverse Wolverine, I mean. Don't get me wrong, this is a phenomenal figure, and I haven't reviewed it yet. But, I've been, playing around with it for a bit, as you can tell. And all around, looks great, feels great. But, compared to, like, a normal Wolverine, he is a bit bigger. Like, I mean, he's slouched down, he's almost the same height as him, not even fully crouched. Like, there's only, like, a slight difference in that. And I get he's probably, like, a little beefier, which, I mean, I'm not against, but, don't get me wrong, the Tiger Stripe suit is his most iconic one. I personally prefer, like, his brown suit. That's the costume I think of when I think of Wolverine. Even though I think he's worn the other one way more. But then again, that's probably going back to me being a fan of the Juggernaut Wave Wolverine. But I mean, claw-wise, pretty awesome. I do kind of wish they would have given him like an alternate, not, gritting his teeth head. That's just me. Arms look amazing. It does suck that we only have, single jointed ones. Articulation wise, like, I mean, I'm not going to full on review this guy because I'll be doing that later. But I mean, posing wise, looks pretty good. And, definitely stands out on a shelf. It does have some minor gripes, which I will get into when I review this figure. But yeah, he's in third place. And now let's get to the silver medal. Now, going on to second place is a figure I was, like, another one I was, like, super excited for just because, I was very excited to finally get a Captain America with butterfly joints. Now, I love this Cap figure. Genuinely one of the greatest ones they've released this year, in my opinion. I do hate the fact that they gave him such a small shield, though. And, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, the streaming head's pretty good, but, I mean, do kind of wish they would have given him, like, a more stoic head. And articulation-wise, I kind of wish they would have given him, like, that ball joint thing like they've been doing with a lot of other figures. The lower half, definitely almost full reuse, I believe. The belt, I know they've been reusing for years. All around, pretty decent figure. I do hate the shield being this small. I get that's probably how it was in the game, but, I thought, the shield is going to be bigger, which is partially why I wanted to get this, which, kind of sucks. He also did come with 2 thumbs up hands and, an effect for the shield, which, I mean, was a very good effect. But, kind of wish they would have made the shield a little bigger, like I mentioned. But all around, great detailing, great sculpt. Definitely really hope they at least use this sculpt again at some point, just because it's very, very badass. And I can't wait to see it, reused again on a different figure. But now, let's get into the number 1 spot. And a lot of people might be questioning why I decided to choose this figure for my number 1. But this figure was a very big standout for me this year so far. Like, out of all the figures that I have picked up this year, this one definitely was the biggest surprise for me, and that is the Man-Wolf figure. And a lot of people might be thinking, oh, why the hell would you choose that? It's stupid, it's... But, like, articulation-wise, like, I mean, this guy can get into some pretty amazing poses, the moving mouth, just the accessories he comes with, just the posability, how he looks, the shine to him, the sculpting, like, I mean, it's very subtle, but you can see all the fucking, I do apologize for cursing, but you can see all the, fur lines on his body, the head sculpt, amazing, very wolfy. I don't know if they reuse this from a, G.I. Joe figure or not, but, it looks like it was on a G.I. Joe wolf toy they did at one point, and, the sword looks amazing. Like, the only thing I think this would have made this figure even better would be a boot swivel, but I think they just, made it all one piece, which, I mean, I'm not going to complain about. This figure definitely has dug his way into my heart and, definitely made a little home there, just because this is genuinely, like, one of the weirdest and coolest figures I think they've made this year that, definitely would stand out on a shelf, because people would be like, oh, why do you just have a werewolf with a sword wearing, green and gold? And then I'd be like, oh, let me tell you a story, sugar. But, I mean, legitimately, like, I mean, he can basically go into a He-Man-esque pose. I have the power! Like, it's such a weird figure, but it's such a good weird figure, Like, genuinely one of my favorite things that I have had the honor of buying. And, in all honesty, I may buy one just to keep it in the box, just because I like this specific figure so, so much. will I probably do that if, I get the other one for, like, cheap, kind of like I got him. But still, all around, great figure, and that is actually it for my top 10 this year. I'm not going to put up all the figures, but I'll just at least put up the top 5, because they're second. I'll put third place up front because he's a small boy. ROM can go right there. And then Agent Venom right here. Now, these are the top 5 figures that I have this year. I get probably some controversial opinions, but, it's my list, so personally just my favorites that I've had this year that I really enjoyed posing around, especially him, and him. I haven't really posed him too much other than this one pose for, this video, but, review will be coming of him hopefully soon. I do want to review one other thing before I get to this, which I will be getting, which will definitely change the list quite a bit. But yeah, that was my, top 10 Marvel Legends so far for 2025. And I will be redoing this video later this, year, when, I do get some more figures in that are supposed to be coming in the next, couple months. So, yeah. But anyway, I really do appreciate you guys for watching this video. If you like it, like, comment, subscribe, and, tell me some figures that you actually have really enjoyed this year. And without that, or with that, I mean, thank you guys for watching. I greatly appreciate you all for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Peace.